Consumer happiness means that the consumer should be happy with the experience of deciding on selecting, buying that particular product or service, and then in the usage of that should be satisfied with how easy it is to get questions answered, feedback, etc., and be able to get service when required. And I think on all these counts, there are lots of challenges and gaps in the Indian ecosystem. So I think after sales expectations have changed a lot. So one is at the sales experience itself. We've never had a situation in the past where consumers expect products to be exchanged without question. And I think the online platforms, e-commerce has brought in that global practice that you buy a product, if you don't like it at the point that you get it and you open it, you have a few days at which you can return it. And I think it's a indication of the consumer response that returns are pretty high right now, at the 20%, 15 to 20% level, which is of course a challenge for many of the vendors. But I think that gives you some idea of that. Second is, I think we're seeing a lot of global brands who are delivering, and some Indian brands who are delivering decent service. So there's a service expectation also which has gone up, which is there. But I think the service part of it still remains a challenge because there are so many people using, for example, smartphones, 200 million, 300 million people. A lot of them really grapple with service such as broken screens and so on. And they don't get processed and handled that smoothly. I think brands need to get their service expectations clearly articulated, their service delivery, what they expect, what consumers can expect. That's one. Second, I think the most critical thing is that there should be a feedback process and an enormous system in place to process and understand that feedback. For example, if customers are not happy at the way a particular screen of a smartphone on a model is repeatedly cracking and many consumers are complaining, there's no way to aggregate that information. Okay, an individual consumer really doesn't know that many other people have actually had that experience. So it's the company which knows that maybe 100,000 or 10,000 people have come up with that problem. How can they fix that? How can they convey that information proactively? Okay. We are not seeing that happening very easily at the company level, because I think the tendency is always for a company to say that no, this is a very rare problem. It's not something that has really taken and happened everywhere.